Hello there, the Electricity Hub is partnering with Griot Studios to promote the documentary of Nepa. This film details the history of Nigeria's power sector, the progress and challenges so far, and the way forward. It also tells stories of the impact of the power sector on the life of average Nigerians. My name is Blessed Nafolabi, and I'm live here at Griot Studios to speak with Ishaya Bako, the director of the film of Nepa.
So what motivated me to make Up Nepa? I think, first of all, just the word, or the phrase, Up Nepa. Like, this is something that Nigerians are obviously used to saying. In both sides, Up Nepa as like ridicule, but also Up Nepa when, power is restored. And, there's lights. It's like, oh, Up Nepa, the celebration. Okay, there's lights, especially if you've not had lights for a while. And then I think secondly, I was always curious as to, is there someone like in a control room or a control switch that turns off the lights when we don't have lights? And yeah, that's kind of what just motivated me to make the documentary. This was a very difficult documentary to make, and I didn't realize, and obviously like with each project, it comes with its own challenges. I didn't realize how complex or technical the power sector is, or the electricity sector in Nigeria is, until I went in. But I think that's also part of why it's such a useful documentary, because like it's able to break it down, and I think that's what we also try to do, break it down to just the layman, to understand the different components, to understand the challenges and possible solutions. Did we receive pushback? At every point in time? Like, we got a lot of no's. I don't think we've gotten as many no's. Yeah, I know for sure I haven't gotten as many no's on any project as I did on this one. People would agree to do an interview, they would tell me no, like we get there and they say no. They actually had like a very prominent generator company who agreed to speak to us. We went in, crew everything, and then at the time they're like, no, they can't do it, and it's a sensitive nature, even all the way up to the premiere. Like, there's a venue that we want to screen the film, and they're like, no, it's too touchy, it's too political, which is difficult. But I think in the same way, because we know it is something that affects literally every sector of the economy and literally everybody, independent of class, independent of ethnicity or religion or even gender, it's still an important story to tell. It took us quite a while to make it. There were definitely points where it was like, what, should we just scrap it and just not do it? But we persevered, and I think it's a testament to the team at Griot Studios. It's a testament to just that zeal to be able to tell stories and to tell these stories that are as important as this. What impact do I envision the documentary to make? It's always a tricky thing when you zoom it. I think our hope, and my main hope in doing it, is that the viewer is informed. The viewer has a better understanding of how light or power and electricity gets into their homes or their workplaces. The viewer is informed on the challenges of the sector itself, but also the opportunities. The viewer is also informed of their own way, the ways that they can improve, or the ways or some of the practices that they're doing that also causes the problems within the sector. I also hope that even for people within the sector, it's like almost like a refresher, so to speak, or at least something that helps articulate just these different components and these varied components within the sector, and like the challenges that it faces, and also the possible solutions. I'm hoping that the longer term impact is obviously first and foremost capturing this current time in our existence, and making just like a proper narrative thread that says, okay, look, this is what we're going through as a country, this is how it affects us. And particularly also the cost of corruption, because like that's kind of it's kind of that endemic nature of how corruption just keeps us underdeveloped. How corruption like limits our potential in so many different ways, particularly when it comes to this that is the lifeblood of any kind of industrialized nation. to be honest, everybody that is also curious about why they don't have lights. Because I know that one of the things that you asked about why this thing is, why this film, why Up Nepa, why are we making this film? The main questions we sought to ask is, why don't we have lights, or why don't we have electricity, constant electricity, and what would it take for us to get it? Those are the two things we're looking at. So this is for all Nigerians. We made the film for Nigerians to better understand why we don't have constant electricity and what it will take for us to get constant electricity. Is there hope for the electricity sector to be revived? I suppose, like in a sense, Nigerians are incurable optimists, and I'm Nigerian as well, so I would want to be optimistic that there is hope. I don't think it will be revived in our lifetime, and it's not a. I don't want to be a doomsday prophet or something. I think like the challenges are like very, very complex. But I'm also very hopeful in its own way, because like we also see incredible innovation happening within the sector. So let me rephrase that. I wouldn't say it's happening in our lifetime. It can happen in our lifetime. We hope it does happen in our lifetime. But it needs a lot of things to align. There is political will. There is kind of a concerted effort to make sure we're doing the things right. There is consistency in execution. And there's just truth in terms of communicating to the users, the end users of, look, this is how and this is why things need to happen the way they do. But there's also needs for like a heavy amount of infrastructure, which that is now a separate thing. But as I mentioned, in terms of innovation, from like the various solar solutions to even companies or organizations like Buy Power that have made it very easy, like from your home, you're able to like reload the units in your meter. To organizations that are doing like full solar solutions and renewable solutions. As Nigerians, we're able to adapt, and that's also a blessing and a curse. But we hope, and I suppose that's the hope. The hope is that we're able to adapt in a positive way, and with documentaries like this or with films like this that informs you, because once you're an informed mind, you just make better decisions. So hopefully that helps, the 16-year-old in secondary school, the 20-year-old in university, to think of new solutions, because they understand better how there's generation, there's transmission, there's distribution, how the power sector works, what the bottlenecks are within the challenges. They understand better how to engage with their distribution company. They understand better what the regulatory environment should be. And even with the new Electricity Act, they understand better, how there's the opportunity to decentralize it and find solutions within that. So that's essentially what we're trying, and we hope that the documentary should do. Hi, my name is Ishaya Bako, and I am the director of the documentary Up Nepa. Up Nepa is a documentary about the electricity sector in Nigeria. With my team at Griot Studios, have spent a number of years making the documentary, and we're very excited to be releasing it May 2024. So stay tuned and keep your eyes on your social media platforms for when the premiere is going to happen and when the general release is also going to happen. It's a documentary that I believe every Nigerian would want to see. As the name implies, this is something that we know. And the two questions we try to ask is why we don't have lights and what it would take for us to get